Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Energy Talks, Energy Transformation, Renewable Energy, and Energy Efficiency as a service for accelerating decarbonization, organized by the Society of Renewable Energy, Universitas Hasanuddin. We hope today's event will inspire and provide valuable insights for all of you. We are delighted and honored by your participation in this event, which explores critical themes in renewable energy and energy efficiency. My name is Ges, and I will be your master ceremony for today's event. We have prepared several fascinating topics enriched by experienced speakers who will share their knowledge and perspectives. Today, we will gain deep insights from our esteemed speaker from ACCIONA Energía, a global leader in renewable energy solutions. Mr. Ricardo Velázquez, Director of Energy Services Business Unit for the American ACCIONA Energía. Mr. Ricardo will share valuable perspectives on how renewable energy and energy efficiency as a service can accelerate decarbonization without significant upfront investments. Of course, we will also hold an interactive discussion. So, we encourage everyone to actively share their thoughts and questions. Before we begin our main agenda, let us hear a few words from the President of the Society of Renewable Energy, Universitas Hasanuddin, Mr. Muhammad Adib Akram Maparaga, who will officially open today's event. To Mr. Adib, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the chance that are given to me. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, please introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Adib Amparaga. I am the president of Society of Renewable Energy at Asandi University 2024. I want to thank Mr. Oh, does my voice on? Okay, thank you. So I would like to thank Mr. Ricardo Velázquez, that Mr. Ricardo can fill our event today. Okay. As the global community, from us in Society of Renewable Energy, we confront the pressing challenges of climate change, and the transition of renewable energy and the adoption of energy efficient solutions are more crucial than ever. This Energy Talks session on today focusing on energy transformation, renewable energy and efficiency as a service for accelerating decarbonization. We serve as a pivotal platform to exchange innovative ideas, explore transformative strategies, and strengthen collaborative efforts. By embracing these pathways, by our events, we not only reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also pave the way for sustainable, resilient, and inclusive future. Let us seize this opportunity to lead the change towards a carbon neutral world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adib, for the wonderful opening remarks. For those of you who want to capture the moment, feel free to take selfies, share stories, or post about the event. Now, it is time to dive into our main agenda. I am delighted to hand over the session to our moderator, Kak Dianti Utami Dewi, who will guide us through today's discussion. Kak Utami, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, MC. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for all who join us today at International Energy Talks organized by SRE, Society of Renewable Energy, Universitas Hasanuddin. We are very excited to have you all here for this very important event where we will discuss a topic of great relevance, which is energy transformation, renewable and energy efficiency as a service for accelerating decarbonization. So this is a very important theme. Given the urgency of climate change, this is becoming very increasingly at the moment and requires a global requirement. So here it is a great pleasure that today we have the opportunity to hear from an expert of this field, Mr. Ricardo Velázquez. So he is an engineer in physics, specializing in energy. He graduated from Institute of Research in Optical Communication at the Autonomous University of San Luis Potosi. Okay, and then he continued his studies where he met me at the University of Nottingham. He studied the power units, and then he continued his studies again in Argentina, studying finance. Okay, and also a bit introduction. He also taught courses on renewable energy at Autonomous University of San Luis Potosi. And he also is level 3 thermographer certified by the Infrared Training Center in Stockholm, Sweden. Okay, now Mr. Ricardo serves as Director of the Energy Service Business Unit for the Americas at ACCIONA Energía, leading projects that promote sustainability and innovation in the energy sector. In addition, he also presides over the Mexican Association in Energy Efficiency Companies, AMENEER, where he drives initiatives to strengthen energy efficiency and support the transition to a more sustainable future. So, as you hear, with his extensive international experience, including representing the Americas at the Smart Energy for Better World, so we are excited to hear his valuable insight on energy transformation and the importance of energy efficiency. So without further ado, let us warmly welcome Mr. Ricardo Velázquez to share his presentation. Your mic is still off. Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm very glad to be here in this event. I appreciate it, and I am very surprised that you have many people connected in this meeting. Well, it's a pleasure, and well, I will start with a brief with a video of the company where I work, and with that shares a good intention and what we work towards, that it's decarbonization the world. So and I saw the agenda, so if you have any questions, I think that we can go with it. So without further ado, let's start this presentation.
Come with me. Open your eyes and let me show you a place. This place is a planet moved by the sun, air, and water. A planet where we reconciled with nature, where humans live in harmony with life, committed to caring for Earth and returning to it what it has gifted to us. At ACCIONA Energía, we have dedicated over 30 years to transforming the energy sector to make this place possible. With no fossil fuel legacy, trusting clean energy as the only alternative to respond to the climate emergency threatening the planet. Creating solutions that advance decarbonization. Generating a positive impact for people across 5 continents. Listening to reality and supporting new technologies and services that respond imaginatively and efficiently for an increasingly diverse and complex world. At ACCIONA Energía, we're different. An entrepreneurial alternative more important now than ever before, where profitability and sustainability are inseparable. With a unique expert team who believe in what they're doing and are confident in the knowledge that they're contributing to the regeneration of the planet. We are writing the future for the generations to come. And we have a historic opportunity. We have the energy to make a better planet.
So I would like to start with with who we are in ACCIONA, and this is not the commercial, but I want to introduce the company and to put you in perspective on figures. We are around 60, almost 60,000 employees around the world. Our figures in revenues are about 17 billions in the last year. We're a public company. We are in the stock market, and we have been around for 100 years. Well, so a big amount of our revenues are invested in research and development for new energies, for new renewable energy. So where we are basically in every continent around the world. We're more than over 40 in 40 countries. We are expanding actually in Asia and actually we growth not only by the organic development but with M&A and with merchant acquisitions. So we're expanding actually in Asia and actually in your country as well. So I told the auntie that maybe the next can be in presential visiting your country. I forgot to tell you that now I am currently in Mexico. So it's Friday actually here, Friday night. So I have my coffee here. So well, going with it, we are as we are a 100-year-old company. We are in the energy sector for more than 30 years. When it was not business, actually, we started as a construction company, but 100 years ago. And we are now in the we say that we are in the renewable. Well, we do new energy and regenerative infrastructure. We don't do businesses that pollute. We only do businesses that contribute to a renewable and more sustainable place, from water to transport to cities. I will share with you some examples. And to real estate and finance as well. So we're a very complete company that want to help to, as we said, we walk the talk. That we want to help to do business in disruptive ways. We say we are business as unusual because there are some type of projects that we do that in the past were not businesses we started, and now it's business. And we don't do the greenwashing. We actually do, and I will share with you what in detail what do we do. Well, we are in we generate renewable energy. We do that from the development to the construction and the sale of the energy that we produce actually exactly in ACCIONA Energía, in ACCIONA Energy. And we have been the top green utility around the world for the last 8 years. We sell that energy to top clients, as you can see, to help them to consume just renewable energy. And in order to help in that way, well, something now I'm going to talk about what were the objectives of the COP28 that happened in Dubai. Well, the agreements that happened, it was that we have the objectives to 2030, we have to triple the global capacity of renewable energy, so which is quite aggressive, not only because of the equipment and the people that has to be involved to triple the global capacity in 5 years, which is quite close, more than we think. And moreover, we have to double the global average annual rate of energy efficiency, which is quite a challenge as well, but not only for the equipment and the people that we need to do that, but for the financial as well. So as well, another commitment that was made in this in this scope was to accelerate doing not only new technologies but as well to new business models from transition, not only for more sustainable way to doing business, for doing renewable efficiency and decentralized energy models that maybe in the past actually it was done, all the energy were produced in a centralized place, but now it's looking towards to be a decentralized. So in that way, I would say that there are 6 key aspects. The first one to be decarbonization, the second one to be the energy efficiency, which is called like the cost energy or the cost saver, because at the end something that can help to accelerate the decarbonization. The digitalization, as I said, the decentralization, and the flexibility that the energy systems needs, and the new business models to solve this. Goal is to reduce or eliminate the carbon emissions, and in this way, renewable energy is totally the first solution, not only the electrical, but can be with other type of renewable fuels as well. But the electrification, it's part of it, because when you change something to electrificate, you increase the efficiency of it, and to minimize actually the fossil fuels use. And moreover, it's the energy efficiency. I believe in that the energy efficiency, it can help to improve not only the I say something that that maybe the energy efficiency is not look like the first solution, but I think that it's something that can help to prepare the ground for the renewable energy, because it's not only about generating more energy, which is at the end a part of the solution, but it's to use it in an efficient way, to produce more using the same, and to improve not only the existing buildings, but the new ones, to become more efficient, to provide more energy, to give the same services with less energy, or more services with at least with the same energy. And in order to help that, the generation and the energy efficiency, the IoT, it's essential to do the data analysis, to enable to analyze the energy that is consumed, and to trace the energy profiles that the buildings uses, and to make the buildings, the installations, the cars intelligent, to making it able to produce to reduce the energy consumption, and to generate as well more. And decentralization, I would say that this is a key part of it, because something that, for example, is happening in many countries is, as they have the generation in some place, or the availability of the resources are not in the same places as the consumption is. For example, in Europe, there are some countries that have a lot of renewable energy. I would say, for example, Spain, more in the south, that have more resources, but those are not the industrialized. For example, as well in the Americas, in what I would say in US, that there's a lot of manufacturing in the south and in the east, the production of energy is in other places. So in Mexico happens as well that most of the manufacturing happens in the north of Mexico, and some of the wind energy is in the northeast and in the southwest. So so helping the energy transmission, and to give it more flexibility, it can help from generating in some of the places that is the consumption. It can help to give that flexibility and the adaptability to the system. So and the last one, that is the new business models. At the end, we have to analyze the solution, because there are some companies that companies, I would say, that produce or that produce a service or a good, that their main objective is to produce, let's say, cars or anything from cell phones to clothes to whatever, and they want to invest in that, but they don't want to invest in maybe in more solar renewable, solar generation, or wind energy, or any other. Sorry, is there a question or?
No, she just opened her mic.
Okay.
Let's continue.
And okay, and so they are most of the companies and the users, they want to invest their money in their core businesses or their core activities. So we need to look for new business models that helps to accelerate that transition to renewable energy and to optimize the consumption. So that's how it was born, this type of new models for that demand, and as well for the companies that most of the companies that are in the stock market are committed to reduce their consumption by 2030, and by 2050 to be net zero. So they are challenging, because they at the end, the value of the company, and that's why it's something that I want to share this, because maybe for some of the students that can be helpful, because normally well, I am really, and Dante knows that I am really technical. I like a lot of the technical side, but at the end there's a problem or some solutions that need to be in the financial sector to help to materialize those solutions. So that's why I continue my studies in finance, although that I like a lot of the technical side, because with that perspective from the technical, you can analyze financially some projects and to show how the risks are, or how can you minimize those risks for the investments to be made. So that's quite interesting. And at the end, I think that complementing always your education can help to give you a wide perspective. And so this is I call it the energy management pyramid, that you have to go with the energy conservation, the energy efficiency, the demand response, and the renewable energy, all in one package. At the end, there are many combinations that can work depending on the requirements of the installation. So going forward with it, for the transition, normally reducing the energy cost means lowering the unit cost or reducing consumption. I like this equation, because at the end, normally what happens is that the consumers do a big effort in the reduction of the cost of energy, but not in the cost in reducing the consumption. That, I mean, at the end, that it's the total of the energy consumption of an installation. But you can, at the end, you cannot control the energy unit cost. But you can manage and control your energy consumption. That's, let's say that in the first part of the equation, it's that can be solved by renewable energy, by installing your solar panels in your place, or contracting a power purchase agreement off-site or inside. And the other part, the energy consumption, is the energy efficiency. Let's say this way, you can buy energy from a renewable supplier, as we are, and to try to achieve a cheaper cost from megawatt hour, and to let's say to change your technology to reducing your consumption or managing the load that you have. So that is the let's say the different type of solutions that can be integrated to give you a quick or a fast way to decarbonize any type of installation. Can be from, I would start with energy efficiency. That can be by changing type of technology to reduce that consumption. I will go further with some details of technologies. And well, from energy efficiency to energy management, to monitorize and to see how you can reduce that consumption, to some mechanisms that exist in some countries, as for example in Spain, that are energy, or in France as well, there are energy saving certificates. That it's when you reduce some consumption from an installation, that amount of energy that you reduce, you can resell it to monetize those savings. And well, the energy consultancy and audit. That's from the side of energy efficiency. Another type is with the PPAs offsite, the power purchase agreements offsite, that it's generate energy offsite. That normally those are big wind energy mills, or well, generation sites, or solar photovoltaic generation sites, that they can sell the energy to a cheaper price, but you still have to pay the transport and the transmission of the energy. So that can add a bit of cost of it. And the other solution, it's on-site generation. That type of a solution is generated on-site, and there's not requirement to pay the fees for the transport and the transmission of the energy, which give you better prices of the energy that you consume. And the other solution being e-mobility, that at the end is one of the biggest pollution generators. By transitioning to e-mobility, it can help at the end in the goals for the 2030 and 2050 are to reduce most of the companies, they want to reduce, well, they are committed to reduce not only their emissions, but their providers' emissions. So let's say, for example, if there is a company, a big company, for example, I would say Stellantis or Ford, that they assemble the car, but their emissions, I would say that around 80% of their emissions are from their providers. So the issue is not only with them. If they start to buy energy, renewable energy, and they become net zero, now their objective is to reduce the emissions of their suppliers in order to achieve those goals. So it's quite complicated, because normally this type of solutions needs to takes a lot of investments, a lot of money to do it, and a lot of people with knowledge that it's but in high volumes. So how can we solve this? So we'll go further with it. So with the decarbonization, let's say now we'll break it down with how can we go with this type of solutions from lighting, for example, which is the low-hanging fruit that it's always talked about. But at the end, lighting can give you just a short amount of savings, but it's savings that technologically is not complicated. So you can do it in a fast way with air conditioning, with pumping, with VFDs, variable speed drives or variable frequency drives. But you need to change those equipments for a newer ones. And then let's say to change the building, or to renew the building as well. That can help. The electrification with heat pumps, that can be another one, and the energy storage, that at the end it's something that can helps with the flexibility, because normally the utility suppliers, they charge more for the hours that it's more demanding from all the consumers. So by having all these technologies can help you to improve the emissions and the cost of the energy, because at the end there is something that are of the clients that to whom I speak, they say, okay, I want to become decarbonized, but I need to be still a business. I need to still to make money for my investors. So you need to balance that, and in order to do that, I know that I am maybe making a lot of comments about the new business, and I will go with it. But at the end, these are the solutions, and the decarbonization part goes with the PV self-consumption that it's on site, and with the electric mobility. So that can help with the reduction of the consumption and being decarbonized with 100% of energy. But at the end, all of it need to be accompanied with the digital services. And at the end, that's some different challenging and happening at the moment, that it's something quite interesting with the AI, with the artificial intelligence, that it's quite challenging at the end. Those monsters of data centers that are going build at the end, when you use OpenAI or whatever type of AI that you use. I read a paper that every click that you do, it's a 100-watt consumption. So we need to optimize that energy consumption to make it the minimum and to make it renewable. Well, or try to do that energy that it's consumed renewable. So that's it's quite challenging. So this is the breakdown that it can help. But now that we have clarity of that we can change LED lighting, that we can change engines for more efficient engines, compressors, VFD, variable speed drives, to change the building, to electrify, to install renewable energy or in batteries. So, but how can we do it if we have it that clear? Why is not already changed? So how and how can we do it? So that's how one of the solutions is the energy as a service, or renewable energy as a service. That at the end, I don't know if have you heard about it? Actually it's not that new, that model, but now it's going to be more often to hear, because at the end, in this way, another company that, for example, we do the investment on the solution that it's living in the end user. Here's a diagram that shows you how it works. In the initial situation, you have the energy cost, which is built by the electricity, the fuel, and the operation and maintenance of the project. Let's say we can call it. I can do it with the simple one, or let's keep it simple with the lighting. Let's say it costs some electricity and the operation and maintenance. Let's say that it's a fluorescent, that it breaks very often, so you have to change the bulbs every year, the 20% of it or so that it's one cost. So after that, you bring an energy service company that it's for example, in ACCIONA Energía, I direct the energy service company in the Americas. And what the energy service company does is they invest, but not only invest, but they put people onto the service to help to design, because most of the companies of the end users, they don't have the enough muscle, let's say, or people, because most of the companies want to keep their quantity of people very tight. But by bringing an energy service company, they can bring a lot of engineers to design without need to be hired by themselves, because what they contract is an energy as a service. So this company, this energy service company, design the project, do the investment, and after it's implemented, what happens to the energy consumption of the client, of the end user? It reduces the consumption directly after you change the light bulbs or the motors of the compressors, or you install variable frequency drives, or you install the photovoltaic system, the battery system. It helps to reduce the consumption and the energy cost of it. So as you can see, the cost that it steals is obviously the one that it's still consuming, but the one that it's green, lighter green, it's what it's saved, as well as the direct savings. So you reduce that consumption, and one part of the savings goes for the energy service company, the energy as a service fee, that it's paying the investment, let's say, in the technology that it's working. It obviously pays for the operation and maintenance and the service. And let's say with this, you can increase the comfort and the business continuity. And afterwards, and during the time of the project, this type of projects, the main goal is that from the savings, part of the savings pays the fee of the energy as a service, and another part is just going straight forward to the pocket of the end user. So in that way, this is the economical part, obviously, but at the end, they are reducing a lot of emissions without need of upfront investment. So maybe, I mean, obviously, these big companies that 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 pursue reduction, obviously, is that they have money because they are big companies normally, but they want to invest that money in maybe in machines that produce their core business, clothes, cars, food, or whatever, instead of lighting, so solar photovoltaic, or any type of renewable energy or energy efficiency. So these type of projects help to reduce the emissions and to increase their profit. So, and what this type of project gives as well is that they can change their actives. Their the, let's say that the contract lasts for 5 years. So in that type, I have an example, and I can go with it. That during the time of the contract, it pays the active or the equipment, and after it finishes, the equipment is transferred without cost to the client, and in that way they can renew equipment without paying it directly. And afterwards that it's transferred, there is no fee for the energy as a service. So they keep the 100% of the savings as well as the equipment. Here's another example that you can see at the end, that from the beginning, the initial is the 100% consumption, and during the length of the project, let's say these 4 years, the dark green pays for the active, the lighter green, it's the savings to be shared, and afterwards they keep the 100% savings, and throughout all the contract, it's 100% of the reduction of the emissions. So in that way, they, without need to investment, they can reduce their emissions and they can increase profitability. And obviously, normally what we focus is in, and I was speaking more about the huge consumers, but at the end, in the supply chain, you have the big consumers, and then you have the smaller consumers. And those who struggle more to get credits and finance to do the projects are the little ones at the end. But this type of projects can help, and obviously the middle and the little ones has more hard, or they have less profitability. So by doing these type of projects, they can increase their profitability without doing investments. So, for example, I will share this example. Let's say, let's go with it. For example, there's a project that the investment it's €1 million, and then the engineering cost is 50,000 euros, and the financial cost is another 50,000 euros. So the total investment is 1.1 million euros. And the savings per year are 400,000 euros. So if you do the simple payback, it's 2.8 years. So if you translate it to an energy as a service contract, it can be a contract of 4 years, and the total savings that the company is acquiring is 100,000 euros. But 360, it's paying the amortization of the active, and there's still 20,000 euros to be shared. So in that way, only for 4 years is going to be paying the amortization and the savings to the energy service company. And afterwards, they are going to be just having the savings. Maybe this is a project of lighting, because those are projects that they have this short payback, simple payback. But there are some other projects as Renewable on site that maybe the payback will be around 7 or 8 years. And the contract, it's normally 10 years or 15 years. Because at the end, if you do it longer, the amortization obviously goes lower. But at the end, in the next couple of years, or as we approach the 2030 or 2050, there will be taxes in emissions, which are going to be compounded in the cost, not only in the energy, but in the cost that they will have to pay taxes for the emissions. So the only thing that happens with this is that the payback with the emission reduction of emissions, it's going to be lower, because you're going to not save money, not only to save energy or money, but to avoid penalties. So that will accelerate as well the decarbonization, or the urgency to decarbonize. So this is, for example, I will add an example here. For example, this is a contract summary, for example, of a big company. There was a contract summary of 10 plants, and for example, the total investment of the project were 18 million euros, and the yearly savings were 5 million per year, and the yearly savings were 63,000 megawatts hour per year. So the average payback was 320. So you can see how can these type of projects can help to a company to implement many projects at the same time. For example, the first year was just one plant that implemented a project. The next year were 4 plants that they implement projects without need of investment, and then the third year, the fourth year. So that this type of projects as energy as a service can help to a company that doesn't want to invest or want to bring more another company to accelerate the implementation of the projects, because normally it can be the economical the decision that drives the company, but bringing experts in energy can accelerate, because I will share some of the these are the typical projects that are implemented by this way, from the lighting, from the refrigeration, heat recovery, boilers, cooling, and the others. The others are in the buildings, from lighting, from HVAC to energy management to microgrids. And the other ones are the PPAs that I was saying, the PPAs off-site and inside. So on the on-site generation is the 100% the investment from the energy service company. And then during the length of the years, the energy generated in that site, it's on a fixed price, which gives a company a certainty that the energy is going to be not only renewable, but a fixed cost, because at the end, with the fluctuation of the cost of natural gas, for example, in some islands that there are the cost of natural gas are really higher, or the gasoline or the coal, it gives the certainty to a company, not only the renewable energy is generated, but the cost of the energy is going to be fixed, and afterward is transferred. So by this type of projects can be, I see that the coming years will be in this way, with power purchase agreement offsite from the energy sites that generates big amounts of energy with renewable, and now with batteries as well, that can, because at the end we cannot forget or not to say that the renewables energy are fluctuating at the end. Obviously, solar can be just only generated during the day, wind just sometimes of the year, but with batteries we can make sure that there will be some continuity with it. At the end, it will be a mix. There are some projects that we already built with wind farms, with batteries, and with hydrogen. That in that way you can storage as well hydrogen to produce continuous energy. And the other part is the PPA on site. And by that is what I was that I would say that in this way you can generate the part of the energy that it's generated on site. You can storage it and use it when you need it, and complement it with the offsite generation. And at the end, these type of projects are end-to-end. With this type of projects, I think that by using the energy as a service models, you can bring a energy service company to make the tailors, let's say the tailor-made suit for the solution that is required. And these are the benefits. I would say that from the financial at the end, and some interesting parts that I didn't mention to the moment, that is that these type of solutions can bring a risk share type of services, because at the end, if the savings or the energy is not generated, there is no need to pay for the savings or the energy. And at the end, let's say that the company, the energy service company, and the end user become partners, because one wants to make the savings and the other wants to make the businesses. So at the end, it's a partnership that can accelerate the savings. I will go with some examples. For example, this is a quite interesting example. If with a microgrid, that at the end it was in a Schneider Electric installation. We partnered with them, and we made the investments with a generation on site of almost a megawatt of generation, with batteries, with energy management, and with with the load for vehicles. So with that gave the company 10% of savings in the bill. The self-consumption was around 20%, but as during the summer they produced more energy, that gave on around 80% of the consumption during the summer. And with that, the energy savings and the reduction of the emission was accelerated, and do it in a faster way. There are some other type of projects that gives huge savings. This type of projects actually works as well for the public sector. For example, this is one of the biggest contracts of energy services, that all the lighting, the thermal consumption were changed for an electrical, and it reduces around 50,000 megawatts per year. And in that way, with affecting the cost and the budget of the municipality, reduce and give them more services, because in that way the lighting was better, safety was improved, and moreover the gas emissions were less. I will add some examples, as for example, this with on a commercial site, that by anything. And well, this is, I would say, as a monitoring, as a service as well, because the investment of the energy management of the meters was made by the energy service company, and with that, they just the cost of the savings of the project, that it was around 30%, was done only by energy management. And I think that by that mix can help in the reduction of the emissions. For example, with I don't know if you can tell who is in the text, which is Sara, and these brands that are around 7,000 shops around the world. By just doing energy management monitoring, it helped to reduce 30,000 tons of CO2 per year. So by doing the intelligence, the efficiency can help to improve not only the change of the equipment by acquiring a third party, it can help. And I will finish with the transport, that at the end it's something that is required. What we do here, it's to install all the chargers around the city, enabling to the end users of the electrical cars to go and charge their cars, and ensuring that the energy that they use to charge the cars is green. And with that, it closes the loop. And well, this is a video to close the speak, and then we can proceed. I will put it playing.
All around me, familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Out of my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow. No tomorrow. Mad world. Mad world.
Mad world.
And at the end, well, I will close with just saying that at the end we need to change the perspective of how business is done. Obviously, I'll back with the technical part, because I will quote Bill Gates, that the CO2 output, it's there's an equation that Bill Gates said that it's the population is part of the emission. We cannot reduce the population. At the end, every day there's a lot of people that it's coming to the world. But in the services, we don't want to reduce the services to the people. I mean, we want to have them, all the services, the lighting, the HVAC, and everything, to have it to being comfortable. But we can reduce the energy that the services consume, and that is energy efficiency. And we can reduce the emissions that every megawatt produce, and that is by doing renewable energy. So in that way, both of the solutions is the energy efficiency and the renewable energy, and helping it with new business models that can improve the businesses to become profitable, but to achieve and creating new businesses. And with that, I think that we need to be part of that, not only by the technical, but with the financial and with the sharing of the knowledge. And in that way, I think that I give positive a positive perspective that we can achieve the agenda of the 2030 and the 2050 of becoming net zero.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ricardo Velázquez, for your informative and inspiring presentation on the collaboration between renewable energy efficiency, on how both play vital roles in accelerating global decarbonization. So now, because we already hear his presentation, maybe there are some of you wants to ask question to Mr. Ricardo Velázquez. We now open the floor for the question and discussions. If anyone have any questions to our speakers, please feel free to raise your hand and you can open your camera and microphone. Anyone? Or maybe if you are shy, then you can type the question in the chat box. Okay, here's the first. Here's the first one, Attila Irham Fairuzaki. You can open your mic and ask question to Mr. Ricardo.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Zaki. I'm an economics and business student from Hasanuddin University. I would like to start to mention that we're all from Indonesia, and we have a very huge, abundant amount of potential for renewable energy, especially the fact that we are a tropical country and we are in the middle of the equator line of the Earth. So I feel like it's safe to say that our country, Indonesia, we have a very huge, abundant amount of potential for the usage and implementation for renewable energy. So at the start, you have explained that ACCIONA Energía have expanded their business in 40 countries, and I would like to say congratulations, very huge achievement for ACCIONA Energía. And there are some notable countries that I did see, and it was Singapore and the Philippines, two countries that are close to Indonesia geographically. And but I realized that ACCIONA Energía have not expanded their business in Indonesia. And with that in mind, with the huge potential for the implementation of renewable energy in Indonesia, I would like to ask, will there be any plans for ACCIONA Energía to expand their business in Indonesia, or are there already plans in hand from ACCIONA Energía to expand their business in Indonesia? And that's it for my question. I would like to return it to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zaki, for the question. Mr. Ricardo, can you answer it? Do you understand? I think the question is very clear.
It's very clear, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, for the first point of I definitely know that you're in Indonesia, and I think that the resources. I mean, I come from Mexico, and at the end we're in a privileged position that there's a lot of resources, and I think that opens a lot of opportunities for generation, but not only for that, because maybe you have the natural resources, but there might be, and actually there's some opportunity of making businesses with it, because maybe there are resources, but some companies don't want to do it by themselves, but there might be a gap that can be closed by that. And well, then the other question about opening businesses in Indonesia, I think, well, in the top management, there are plans to expand in Asia. Definitely, they're going through some merge and acquisitions to expand, and hopefully will be, I don't know how soon, but every time sooner, I think. But without saying that, because at the end, I mean, I have become a businessman, but at the end, I would to incentivize for you to becoming actors of change, to by this presentation trying to imagine how can you help with this type of because at the end, in our type of countries that are emerging countries, there are of opportunities. So would you are highly skilled and talented people that can analyze, so how can apply this type of not only business models but technologies to help actually to decarbonize. So I would just slide that tip for you, and just to make it as a brainstorm, and to incentivize yourself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ricardo. How, Zaki, are you?
Yeah, I'm very satisfied with the answer. Thank you, Mr. Ricardo.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Zaki.
you for the question. Okay, so here in chat, we can see, Mr. Ricardo, there's a question from, what's the name? HR. Hi, Bu Ami, please read my question. Given that certain rural areas in West Kalimantan, Indonesia, currently rely on electricity imports from Malaysia due to local power shortage, alongside the fact that approximately 112 villages and 1.3 million households in Indonesia still lack access to electricity and internet services. How can a cross-sector partnerships models between renewable energy providers? Okay, PLN is our national company enterprise for electricity. PLN and telecommunications companies be designed to address these challenges while supporting decarbonization targets. Okay, he said, for example, ACCIONA Energía has successfully implemented projects like Luz en Casa in Peru and Mexico, which provided affordable electricity through photovoltaic system for low-income households. And its partnership with Telefónica in Spain, where renewable energy was supplied to data centers and offices. How can similar approaches be adapted to Indonesia's context to ensure electrification and internet access for underserved communities? Maybe that's the first question.
Okay,
The second,
I'll go with it.
we will discuss later.
Okay. Well, I think that this is quite interesting, because at the end, that is something that with something what I close the talk, that as Bill Gates said, we want services for everyone. We want to do the energy available for everyone. So as for example, this type of projects that we made in Peru and in Mexico and some other places, I think that, and actually as a president of the association, it's we need to do the ecosystem. So maybe with the PLN, well, not only the renewable energy provider, I would say, because maybe another financial entity will be required as well, or in NOG, or how do you say it? The non-governmental organization, NGO,
Yes.
that can find the funds that are towards this wall. I mean, I can take a look and I will share with you. I mean,
Okay.
because I think that it can be solved in some way, maybe, but it can be solved by going with a non-governmental organization and with the telecommunication, or maybe a telecommunication company has an NGO that can provide the funds. So it's more like making the ecosystem, because at the end there are some emissions that are produced by the little villages that are around, and those type of projects can help actually to reduce. But I would say that by looking for the NGOs or the telecommunication companies that can provide the resources for it.
Yeah, so a bit information in Indonesia, there's a rule by the PLN, so it's not like in the other country. Maybe the other country they have like private sector and electricity. Yeah, but in Indonesia it's all by PLN. Yeah, that's why. So
Okay.
yeah, so we need to.
Something like that is happening in Mexico.
Yeah, maybe there are some of my friends in PLN join already here. Maybe they can explain how the condition, if there is maybe like NGO want to provide electricity for the villages in where in Kalimantan, like that. Or yeah, maybe we need to see the policy and the law rule of the PLN here.
Or it can be, or I was saying, for example, maybe those projects that the one who shared this question is maybe by distributing generation, maybe by installing photovoltaic modules on site on the houses of the people, can help at least to reduce a bit the emissions. And
Yes.
maybe on ONG, maybe obviously the as it's a public only generation, cannot be that one, but maybe another one another company or NGO can do it. That could be but I mean, obviously it won't be 100% renewable, but can be at least a bit. Everything adds a bit.
Yes. Have you ever heard Bali?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So
I want to visit.
yes, a place for vacation. So in Bali, actually, they have already a rule. If people there want to set photovoltaic in their houses, so they have like export-import meter. So it's easy for them to sell their excess power to a PLN and then use the energy for themselves. But in some places, as you know, if you see the map of Indonesia, we are all like a lot of islands. So yeah, and so Bali has their own rule. They allow people to have eximeter, export-import meter, but while in other island, like maybe here in my Sulawesi here, there is no rule like that. So we only depend on the PLN itself. So if we want to use photovoltaic, for example, we need to make it like a standalone photovoltaic. So it's
You
it's
cannot
still
install it by being connected to the grid.
yeah, it's still a strict rule here. So maybe these people, these students who will work at PLN maybe can change the policy, or maybe yeah, like you said, a change maker for electricity in here or globally.
And what's the cost, the average cost of, for example, in a household per kilowatt hour or so?
Yes, per kilowatt hour, but I'm not sure how much it costs.
Or because at the we can I mean, I am open to help with a business analysis if you want, and there's some students that want to make a business case analysis. I can collaborate.
Okay, we can make maybe another seminar then.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can make we can analyze it. It will be fun.
Okay. Is there any question? I forgot the next from HR. Furthermore, how does ACCIONA Energía view the role of technological advancement in bridging these gaps, especially when the growth of technology and decarbonization targets often appear to be misaligned? I think it's already discussed.
Well, I think that as normally I said is that that we already have many technologies that can help the to help the decarbonization. I think that we don't have to invent. I mean, at the end, the inventions are just changes in the actual technology, but with the tools and the technology that we already have, we can help a lot to we can do major advancements in the decarbonization. Actually, the issue is we need those technology that has been for many years needs to be implemented. So it's how can we actually use it, and in that way, by doing new business models to see how we can reduce the consumption, and how can we actually make that those are implemented. That's the main issue, not only the technological, because obviously there will be hydrogen and many other technologies that are quite amazing and amusement, but at the end it's how can we implement it, actually going from the PPT to the real implementation. That's the thing, and as fast as we can do it, more than a technology innovation, the implementation, I would say.
Okay. Back to HR. Are you satisfied with the answer, or anyone want to ask? You are free to raise your hands, open your camera and microphone. We still have time for this Q&A session. Anyone? Okay, she said, oh, HR said thanks.
Thank you, HR.
Yeah, so what else? Anyone wants? I think your presentation is very great, so they understand. No one have question anymore.
Great. If you have any question later, I mean, this is my LinkedIn. So if you want to send me a message or whatever, it's
Oh yeah,
it's fine. I can do it afterwards.
Yeah, he already shared the LinkedIn, the barcode of the LinkedIn. So it's Ricardo Velázquez. So how is it, MC? Should we close it because there's no more question? Okay. How? Okay.
I think there is one more.
Oh, one more question. Okay. Last question, maybe. Go ahead, Muhammad Faik.
Okay. First, thank you for the chance given to me. Thank you for Mr. Ricardo for your presentation this day. For me, it's very awesome that I have a presentation from you about the energy transformation in this world. As you explained about how renewable energy have a role in accelerating decarbonization in the world, but however, renewable energy so far also still give emission in the manufacturing process. My question is, what's your opinion about that? About the manufacturing process is still given the emission in the world, the decarbonization, it is still given the emission. What's your opinion about that? Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Well, that's quite interesting. I think that you made an excellent point, because there are two things that are quite that has the importance. The first one, obviously, is the emissions during the production of it. Is, for example, the same as in the electrical cars, because when you produce it, the emissions are significant. But in the production of the photovoltaics or the wind turbines, if you look for the life of the equipment, the emissions that are produced during that part are a little, but at the end, I think that it's something that needs to be looked. And actually, there are some initiatives that are looking towards that, to reduce the minimum the emissions produced during that part, and that is critical. Something that, for example, we have implemented. We look for suppliers because we around the world have around 12,000 megawatts in renewable energy. So what we do, as we are per year installing like 2,000 megawatts per year, which is like thousand of photovoltaic modules. What we do is we only install modules that are net zero. In that way, we close the gap. And the other part, the second part, adding to the question that you made, is the circularity. That after the module ends their lives, how we can recycle it. And for example, that is for the photovoltaic, but for the wind turbines, actually what we are doing is we're using it for photovoltaic systems. And we made an initiative that you can Google it. We produce with wind turbines some shoes, tennis shoes. So we look forward not only for the reduction of the emissions in the manufacturing, just buying of the suppliers with a net zero technology, but their circularity afterwards, and you can use it in a new photovoltaic or in your shoes.
Okay. Well, how, Faik, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, thank you for the answer. It's very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Still have time. Anyone want to ask question? So, if no one wants to ask question, maybe we can wrap it up. Because I think in Ricardo place, it's almost 10 p.m. But we live in the future here.
But it's fine. No worries. I have coffee left, so.
Okay. So yeah, but if you still have question, if you want to stay in contact with Ricardo, you can add his LinkedIn and have both chat there. Okay, maybe MC, can I close it? Okay. So thank you, Mr. Ricardo Velázquez, for your presentation. Yeah. We believe this discussion has provided us with clear insights into steps we need to take as individuals, industries, or maybe nationality to address the challenge of climate change. So this generation, we hope that this generation will encourage all of us to commit more sustainable practices and support to transition to clearer energy resources. Okay. So, and also thank you for all the participants who already joined here. We hope these events, it's your beginning for further collaboration. As Mr. Ricardo mentioned, maybe he can make business analytics for all of you. Maybe Faculty of Economic and Business are interested. You can contact me or Mr. Ricardo or also SRE. So thank you, Mr. Ricardo, and I get back to the MC.
Thank you. Well, I would like to congratulate because I think that this is amazing that you're organizing this type of seminars that are multi, let's say, technical, economical, and from all perspective. And I encourage you to keep doing this type, and with this formality, I think that we need more this type of seminars. And congratulations! Thank you for having me in the space.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we bring today's event to a close, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker, moderator, and all the participants who have participated in today's energy talks. At this time, we would like to invite Mr. Adib, the President of the Society of Renewable Energy Universitas Hasanuddin, to present a token of appreciation to our distinguished speaker. To Adib, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much for Mr. Ricardo Velázquez Lechuga for filling our session today, for being an extraordinary speaker for International Energy Talks. So here are our appreciation for Mr. Ricardo. Thank you very much once again, and that's it from me. Thank you.
In addition, we'd like to invite everyone to open their cameras and join us for a photo session. Okay, we are waiting for other participants to open the cameras. Okay, let me count it. 1, 2, 3. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's all. In addition, we also encourage everyone to take a moment to complete the attendance form before leaving this session. The link to the attendance form has been provided in the chat box and also in the PowerPoint. So please make sure to fill it out at your earliest convenience. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Kak Utami, for being with us throughout the webinar. And thank you to our esteemed speaker for sharing your expertise, as well as to all participants for making today's event a success. We have the insights shared today will inspire all of us. That concludes our talk show for today. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, everyone.